Countdown to the Geekcast. Here's Jim Cummings panel from Retro Expo in Allen, Texas.
It's me, Winnie the Pooh. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Hondo Onaka.
I'm the moderator today, but the person coming to the stage is who you're really here to see. Yes, Jim Cummings.
Good to see you.
So I just hope we have enough room up here for on stage for as many characters as Jim has been able to voice over the years, but I think we'll squeeze them all in. How you doing today?
Superb, thank you. Great, and yourself?
I am doing outstanding now, especially that you're here with me today.
I feel positively superfluous.
That's awesome.
That's superfluous.
Superfluous?
Yes. You guys weren't having fun until I got here, right? I hope.
No.
Okay, well, we can start.
Okay, that's exactly what we're waiting on today, is for you to show us so we can actually start having some fun.
Okay.
So, I have a few questions that I'd like to kind of get things started off with. You got a drum roll panel? Dude, this is the best panel so far. I can't even say.
But going right down the tubes from here.
So, I had actually heard at one point that you used to design Mardi Gras floats.
You
Is this
heard
correct?
right. Yes.
How does that even come into someone's career? I mean,
Well,
take us through that if you will.
Well, at the time, I lived in New Orleans for a long time. I had a dream. I had, certain things I had to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was to be a deckhand on a Mississippi riverboat, because I read too much Tom Sawyer and Mark Twain, it seemed like, and I can't tell you how different it is from the 1800s to the 1900s. Very different, a lot of diesel. But I wanted to do that. I wanted to say, when I get to be an old fart like I am now, I want to be able to say, well, I wanted to do this, and that, and that, and that. And by the way, I did it. And so I did. And that was one of them. And it was great. I told the story before, but one of the first things I ever did was Leatherhead on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Woo!
He was there, he knows. And here you are now, Leatherhead. Good to see you. And he was a dead-on impression of my first tugboat captain.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was just, his name was Léonce Desblancs, and he was from Napoleon, Louisiana. And so I said, geez, this guy sounds like a cartoon character. Well, he is now.
Immortalized forever.
Yeah, and I often wondered, because I have a philosophy that if you do a dead-on impression of somebody that nobody knows, but he's a bit of a character, that's a new character. And if you do a terrible impression of somebody everybody knows and nobody, it's so bad they don't even know who it is, that's a new character. So I often wondered if, because it was a dead-on impression. That's how he talked like that. He said, I can't believe they sent me some little Yankee college boy down here. Not in college, you better go. Because you ain't going to make it on these boats, no. And I said, that's okay, I'm just hungry. Because you get to see when you're poor and you check out on a riverboat, you can eat that day.
Mm-hmm.
Because your deckhand's the lowest guy on the totem pole, so he cooks. So there was a method to my madness. But a couple years later, I auditioned for this role as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there was a Cajun alligator, and I go, oh, I got the guy for you. and so I did that, and I often wondered if his grandkids were sitting around in the turtle Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm gonna get y'all turtles. Grandpa, come in here. Did you go to Hollywood and were you hanging around? So yeah, that's my story.
All right, that's great. That's great. So I guess how did you move forward from designing the floats, boat hand to?
Oh yeah. Well, I left out that part. It was I was dating a girl who wanted to be a sign painter. She took a course in sure. And it was Royal Artists. I remember they had Comus, Momus, Proteus, and Olympia. Those are the crews. They call them KREWE, and that means club. It's like the club that puts on Bacchus or Endymion or the parades. And so they all have to have Back in the old days, they were horse-drawn, and now they're little tractors, and they have big signs over them. This is the float, the magical land of Oz, you know, whatever. And it has to be very whimsical artwork and lettering. And so she was auditioning for that, just to be the sign painter. And we're sitting around, and I'm looking at all these people have these big portfolios, and it's all their artwork. And I go, wow, well, are you auditioning for the sign painting? And they go, oh, no, wait, I want to be a float designer. I'm going to LSU. So, and I said, they're doing that too, huh? You know? And I said, okay, all right. Can I borrow a couple of sheets of paper from you here and a pencil? And I suppose, you know, and then I auditioned and I drew my stuff on there, and I got the job. so, you know, they were like, that's real good. And so, yeah, but I got a good story and a really cool gig.
Mm-hmm.
Can't tell you how much fun it was.
So how long did you actually do that for? I mean,
About 3 years.
3 years? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so take us, how did you go from those, very interesting jobs to voice acting and get started in there?
Well, I always knew that I was going to do this.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was 5 years old, and I was watching the Jack Benny program long time ago, and I was sitting there with my dad, and Mel Blanc, the great Mel Blanc, the original guy, Warner Brothers, he was there, and he comes out, and he was doing this bit, and he was dressed in a sombrero and a serape, like he was from Mexico, and Jack Benny said, so tell me your name. Sigh. Oh, I see. And you're from Mexico? Si. and he said, well, I have you. All right, man, very few words. So, and my dad goes, you see this bastard? And I said, yeah, it was cool. And he said, he's the one that does all those voices, like Daffy Duck. And I was thinking, wow, well, he doesn't have to stand in the corner, does he? So I knew I was going to do that when I was 5.
Wow.
I said, when I grow up, I'm just going to do what this guy does. So yeah, and I ended up doing a couple of his characters. I did Chaz and Gossip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, awesome.
Now, I guess really, with that being said, you've actually taken on some other iconic roles from Sterling Holland. So, I mean, how did that all come about? How did you get those roles?
Well, at the time, Winnie the Pooh hadn't been on. They made those first 3. They were shorts. They were like 20 minutes each, 20-something minutes each, and they put them all together and called it. I don't remember. I think it was like the Adventures. No, not the New Adventures. Yeah, the Many Adventures. And so that was cool. And they won an Academy Award, and then it was gone for 20 years. Nobody, that was in the I guess the mid '60s, and then Disney didn't do anything with them, which I guess I'm glad because it gave me time to grow up. And then they put out a call, if you, for Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore, of course, and I think it was Gopher and Kanga, the whole 100 Acres with Rabbit. And I thought, wow, okay. So I'll go out and and I auditioned for Rabbit, Gopher, Pooh, Tigger, and Eeyore. And man, I thought I really nailed Eeyore. I thought, Eeyore, yes. Crush it, Eeyore. And 2 or 3 weeks later, I get a phone call from my agent, and she says, well, I have good news and I have bad news. And I said, oh, well, give me the bad news. She goes, you're not Eeyore. I said, really? She goes, no, you didn't get Eeyore. And I said, who got Eeyore? And she says, Peter Cullen. And then great Optimus Prime. I was thinking, oh man, you lose a gig to Peter Cullen, you've got nothing to be ashamed of. You gave it a shot. I mean, he's the man. And I said, well, what's the good news? She goes, you're Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. I go, screw Eeyore. Eeyore Schmeeyore. So that worked out. So I suffered through.
Yeah. So now, did you ever get to meet Sterling?
Almost.
Okay. Sounds like there's a story there.
Yeah, I was with my wife. We're down in Laguna Beach, California, and that's where he retired. That's where he lived. And we thought we were the only people. We're in a little diner, and it was about 2 in the afternoon, and just sitting there getting ready to eat. And we hear the waitress. She walks over. She goes, "Well, have we decided what we want yet?" And I hear this little voice pop up. "Yes, I believe that I shall have the chowder." And I looked at him and I got up and I looked over there. I was being cool. I was like, I had to get this salt off that table, you know, and he was over there. And God bless him, he was sitting there and he had all this white hair poking straight up in the air and sitting there, and he was all dressed in white, looking cool as hell. And I went back and you know, and then like 10 years later, or whatever, I was Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, but I didn't have the chowder. Should have had the chowder. And I feel stupid. I've said this 100 times. I wish I went up and just said hi, and then you know. Okay, well, yeah, thanks. I just want to say hi. You know,
You could have said, "Can I borrow the salt?"
yeah. You gonna finish that, honey? Just kidding, because you know food, honey. Okay. Really bad. But anyway, it came away with a pretty good story.
Yeah. So, speaking of great stories, now I've also heard that you had a opportunity in The Lion King to replace Jeremy Irons for a little bit.
Oh, well,
What was that
sort
all
of, yeah, that was interesting. It was, well, you know, they knew that I sang, you know, I was singing a million songs. And Jess Harnell and I were in there. Jess was playing Timon and I was playing Pumbaa for Hakuna Matata. You know that song. Hakuna Matata, what we will bring. Sing along. And because they figured, well, we'll just get Jim and Jess to sing it, and then we'll give it to Ernie and Nathan. You know, thank you. And they could just put it on a cassette and drive around in their car for like 3 weeks. And then after you do that, you know, you're listening to it all day, where you go here, you go there. Then you kind of know it the same way you do Happy Birthday, because you heard it 1,000 times. So they said, oh, okay, so good. So we're doing that, and we're singing the song, and I remember Rob Minkoff goes, I don't know, all these verses. Like, you know, when I was a kid, it was hard, and you have it easy, I had it rough, and he goes, it sounds like everybody's parents and grandparents. Oh, you had to walk uphill both ways to go to school in the snow, and, you know, and I go, yeah, well, and I went, wait a minute, doesn't the warthog, doesn't he have a problem with gas? And they go, yeah, and I said, okay, good. And so I went over and I whispered in Jess's ear and I gave him the lines, oh, the shame, but what's in a name? And I got downhearted every time that but not in front of the kids. Hakuna Matata. So I wrote the part first. I like to class up the joint. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, they already knew I sang. And of course I was Ed. The genius, the good-looking, you know, and they said, well, you know, Jim's here, and Jeremy just got done singing his song, and he does all the talking. But put it this way, and it goes. I mean, they must have sat there and gone up down with the pots, because he never says the words "be prepared." Yeah, every time you hear it, be prepared, and you gotta laugh at the end of the song. It's the law. Villain sings his big show-stopping "I'm a Villain" song, and then you laugh. So I laughed. Yeah. He's imitating me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, somebody has to do it.
That's awesome. So I guess so when you get these new parts and everything, how do you go about creating a voice for a character? I mean, do you take the images of that character? Do they give you input? How do you develop a voice for a character when you have those opportunities?
Well, you know, it always helps if you can see them. Mm-hmm. You know, There's a character, Mr. Bumpy, on Bump in the Night. It was animation, weird stop-action animation. This dude knows. And he looked. He ate dirty socks, and he lived under the bed, and his best friend was a ball of dust, or something. You know what I mean? So it's not, he lived in the toilet. His best friend. So that's what I do. And I wanted him to sound a little bit like Tom Waits. So I thought that was cool, and they bought that. And the picture of the character, it helps. It helps. If you have that. And one of my favorites is Hondo Ohnaka from Star Wars. Everybody likes that. And they were trying to. They didn't know what to make him sound like. So I always thought, if you put two characters together, two character actors together, you can come up with something new, and so I thought, okay, well, who would play this guy? Well, it looks like a little like Charles Bronson and who else, So I was trying to think, and I put Charles Bronson and Yul Brynner together, which, people are going, who? But it's, because Moses, these Israelites see to live with my father. And Charles Bronson was, like that. And so you put the both of them together, and there comes Hondo Ohnaka, at your service.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so you mix and match, and you come up with something. But don't tell anybody that's how you do it. Because see, then they'll all, come after me.
Have you heard anything about if Hondo's going to be coming to the live action scenes?
No, I can't believe he isn't. I think we should all agree to write letters or make
If you do the voice, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm fine. I don't need the makeup.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? That'll take a little while. I'll be sitting there for a while. Can I just get a mask? But if you ever get a chance to go to Disney World or Disneyland, it's pretty bodacious. Yeah, anybody do that? The ride? Yeah. It's really cool. I steal the Millennium Falcon, and I'm really proud of that too. I'm such a good thief. Because he came from a TV show. Essentially, it wasn't a cartoon, but it was animated, and then he made it into the upper echelon of the Star Wars universe. Han Solo's Millennium Falcon. If you can steal the Millennium Falcon, that's pretty good.
Yes.
And I steal it about 500 times a day. You come by, and I'll give you a ride. Han's not there.
So I found out this is pretty interesting, and let me know what this was like. But in the '90s, you were accredited to be the only actor to appear in every animated series produced by Disney, like Gargoyles, Goof Troop, Darkwing Duck, Aladdin, and Bonkers. That sounds like an awful busy schedule.
And Gummy Bears.
Oh, and yes,
I'm sorry. And Chaos Man, come on.
I'm
Easy.
sorry.
Well, I'm in the wrong place. I didn't come here to be disrespected.
So, how did you keep coming in and out of those characters from day in and day out?
Oh, I had somebody drive me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was easy. I just sat there.
Okay.
Are we there? Okay. Go ahead. No, I don't know. I don't know. I guess luck of the draw. I just, I was there. They already knew that I would show up and be on time.
That's 2 wins right there.
Yeah, it's 2 wins right there. So I don't know. It was, a lot of luck and a lot of really hard work.
So, well, that's amazing to hear that you were so fortunate at that time to have those opportunities and stuff. But so I'd like to do a little fun time here before we go into Q&A. So everyone start to get their Q&A up and everything. But if we could, I'd like to do a little Q&A with some of your characters and see how they respond and everything. So we'll see. We'll see how we do here. So Winnie, what's for dinner tonight? You getting somewhere out here in Texas?
Take a wild guess.
I'm gonna say it's honey, but
Honey, do you ever smackle about you? That's a no.
So, Darkwing, is this your first time in Allen, Texas?
Well, of course it is. Don't be ridiculous. But stay dangerous. Safely.
And so, Ed, you've been walking the floors, looking at some of the guests and everything like that. What's been the most interesting point so far this weekend at Retro Expo?
What?
And then bonkers, is there anything you'd like to say to the crowd before we go into our Q&A?
Yes, you do the Q's and I'll do the A's. And if I don't know, I just make that map.
That's awesome. All right, guys, so we've got mics on both sides of the floor. If you'd like to line up, we'll take some Q&A.
Now here's the thing, you have to say your name and your favorite dessert. You gotta say your first name and your favorite dessert.
All right, we're going to start over here too, so black and white.
Okay.
And sir, what was your name?
Hi, my name's Ricardo. My favorite dessert is apple pie.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. Okay, got it. All right, we'll let you off this one time.
Are there any characters that, after you saw, or any characters out there from anything from Disney that you wish you had voiced?
No.
Go over this side then.
No, because that would be like envy or something. And okay, Marge Simpson, are you happy?
All right, over here.
Hey.
My name is Josh Menez, and I like Fudge Sundae.
Oh, yeah. Who are you cosplaying as? It's ringing a bell.
Dr. Robotnik on the live-action version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I wasn't in that. What's your point? However, I was Robotnik in a cartoon, but go right ahead.
Okay, my question for you is, since I got to see your latest live-action version of Christopher Robin, you reprised your role as Winnie the Pooh Tinker on a live-action version. Tell me with your own words, what was it like still voicing your original characters on a live-action version of the movie?
Very profitable. It was a lot of fun. I just had a ball. We had a really good time, and I'm so proud of that movie. It really came out well. I thought Ewan was great, and Haley, everybody was great. You know, they were such nice people, and free trip to England here and there, so can't beat that. And yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I hope you liked it because
I loved it very much.
Yeah, I knew what was going to happen, and I still teared up. So it must have been good. And it's not like I didn't know what was going to happen. Glad you liked it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Keisha. This is Olivia.
I know.
My favorite dessert is dark chocolate mousse cake.
Oh, and what's yours, Olivia?
Ice cream.
Nice. I've heard of that one.
And I was wondering, in your career being a voice actor, have the voices that you've done in your auditions for characters ever changed to the final version of the voice?
I don't think so. We might have trimmed a little bit with Darkwing here and there, but no, Hondo was, no, I don't think so. Because, they hire you when you've got this sound, when you got this character, and and it's not, and I always say, well, you're doing voices, blah, 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 and, Jess Arnell has a good line. He says, when you say voice actor, it's small v and capital A. You have to think in terms of being that character, being that critter, and that's what's up. But as far as changing, not really, because they'll hire you when you've got the finished product in your head, and you put it out there and hope they like it. So I was very fortunate. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Andrew, and I am a dessert guy. It's hard to choose one. I guess it would probably be sugar cookies with sprinkles on them.
I've heard of those.
I also want to, before I ask my question, I want to say God bless you for being my very favorite celebrity on
Oh, geez. Thanks, Tom. God bless you.
Thank you. Now, I know you worked on both the original animated Little Mermaid and the TV series that aired afterwards. Did you ever get to work or meet Pat Carroll, who was the voice of Ursula? I know she passed away.
Yeah, no, I did, but I ran into her several times, but not at Disney. It was actually at the old Hanna-Barbera. She would do a lot of characters, in different cartoons over there. I think she did a couple of Scooby-Doos. I did a lot of Scooby-Doos and a few other ones. Yeah, she was a great lady.
Yeah, she really gave an outstanding performance.
Yeah.
I used to be terrified of Ursula, but then she became one of my favorite villains.
Yeah.
Did she scare you when you watched the movie?
Yes. I squirted ink everywhere. Oh no, wait, that wasn't my scare. But yeah, well, I'm glad. Yeah, God bless her. She was great.
All right, thank you so much.
Good job. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name's Manuel, and my favorite dessert is vanilla ice cream.
What kind?
Vanilla ice cream.
Oh, vanilla. I've heard of that one too.
My question is, so you actually were able to appear in the live-action Chip and Dale's movie, like Candy, you, among other voice actors, Corey Burton and Tress MacNeille. So how did you get the role, and what was it like? Did you ever meet like any of the filmmakers or anyone on the set? How was that?
Well, they called me up and said, would you like to record some, and I said things like, yes. and then, no, I mean, it was, they already knew, I'm trying to think, I think Darkwing had a line, who might have had a line at Tigger?
Yes.
And I was Monterey Jack, but that could have, but Peter Cullen did Monterey Jack half the time.
I think it was Eric Bana who did Monterey just in that version.
Oh, yeah?
In a live act, yeah.
I hate him.
Be careful, he's been the Hulk before.
He's been what?
He was the Hulk and he was the Hulk.
Oh, okay. No, he's a good guy.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. That's my question, yeah. How was it like on that film? Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Gosh, it was really quick, I only had I don't think I had a dozen lines, total, so I was just like in and out, ka-ching, thank you, No, it's a lot of fun. It was interesting to see what they ended up doing with it. It was kind of weird. I was like, okay, so which one do I look at here? Why are they, sounding like that? And, I'm a bit of a purist. I like them to sound like what I've always heard them sound like. And so, whatever, they do a lot of weird things nowadays, and if it works, it works, So, I think it worked well. Pretty cool show.
As soon as I saw Darkwing at the end, that made it all.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, thank you for that one.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Have you seen the Darkwing walking around?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, they came outside.
Yeah, it cracks me up. I like it when there's like a 7-year-old Darkwing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the heck? And years ago, it would be that Dad would have a stack of DVDs. Go, we're raising them right. But now it's on Disney Plus all the time, and everybody says it's like one of their biggest shows. Okay. I love that. Yeah. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, it's a good show. They don't. I mean, I sound like a curmudgeon, but they don't make them like that anymore. They really kind of don't.
No, they don't.
So, yeah, I'll take it. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Aaron. My favorite dessert is chocolate cake. My question for you is, what advice would you have for someone who might like to be a voiceover artist someday?
Well, I have a pretty standard answer. You can go to D. Bradley Baker's tutorial page. That's a good one. But also, I've always said that if you do a perfect impression of somebody nobody knows, that's a character. And if you do a good, perfect, a terrible impression of somebody knows they don't know who it is, that's a new character. I've said that 100 times, and it's and then you just put together stuff in your head, and if it occurs to you, and it sounds good in your head, get it out there, and they'll know. I've gotten jobs that I didn't think they would go for, and they went for sort of take number 2 instead of take number 1. So, check the same.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, jump in there and just do it. Don't hold back, and don't be shy. you know, just do it, talk to yourself in the mirror, you know, and then they'll come and drop a net over you and take you away. And then you can do it all day long.
Great, thank you.
Go get them, yeah.
Now, do you do like voice exercises daily to keep your voice?
Not daily, but you know, it's not like I sit around drinking whiskey shots and I don't. and I have all the cigarettes I've ever smoked in my life right here in my hand. So, you know, because you know, you hear people, you know, they're smokers. It's like, okay, well, they can do that voice, and it's like, oh, well, yeah. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Healthier for you anyway, right? Yep. Hello. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My name is Andre, and as you can tell, I like to eat just about any dessert. As long as it's no nuts or it's not spicy. So.
Oh, there you go.
And two of my favorite characters that you voice.
Oh, excellent.
Don Carnage. You know something? If I was not already me, I would envy you because you get to meet me.
He's a very shy dude, Don Carnage. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. He's very hesitant, very laid back.
Very nice.
Yes, I'm glad. That's cool. I haven't seen that one. Where'd you get that?
It's very old. I think it came out in the 90s. I mean,
So you're the one who stole it from me.
I know that. You didn't see me do it?
Oh, okay.
I don't know anything.
All right.
My question is, particularly in Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, and also in the last Space Jam movie.
Oh yeah.
Why did Peter Cullen do Monty in some of the episodes, and you do some of did Monty in other episodes? But at the same time, watching the new Space Jam movie, it's like, okay, I thought you would be Taz as well. So wait, what happened? That wasn't you. First thing I thought was, that's not Jim. Wait, what happened?
Yeah, you know what? That was weird because I did some stuff in it, and then my agent said something about they used some old footage or not footage, but audio or something. That might have been Mel Blanc. I mean, I don't know, but some of them were me. Yeah. So as long as I get a check, I'll be okay.
So what about with Peter Cullen, with Monty with Peter Cullen?
Yeah. Oh well, it tells Rescue Rangers. Peter did like the first. We did 65 of them, and Peter did 32, and then I did like 32 or 33. And I couldn't tell you why. Somebody was saying that they couldn't tell what Peter was saying. It wasn't that I thought it was fine, you know. And they played my original audition, and they played his audition, which they didn't need to because he was sitting right next to me all the time. I heard him all the time. But they played my original audition, and we really did sound alike. You know, we're on there, don't worry about it, I think they're, you know, strike me snipers, you know. And so that was, I don't know why they bothered. I mean, it was fine with me because I was already on the show. It's like, I'm on the show. I ain't worried about that. You know, so, you know, I was Fat Cat. Nimnord, Professor Nimnord. And just for the record, Professor Nimnord was an exact, complete portrait of a guy named Bruce Talkington.
Yes.
He looked just like him. He was a caricature of him. God rest his soul. Great guy. But yeah, he wrote a lot of Winnie the Pooh's. And early originals, you know, back in the day.
Thank you.
Little fun fact to don't tell. Yeah, you betcha. Thanks. Hello, there she is.
Hello. So, my name is Helena Collins. My favorite dessert is a hard tie between frozen custard and frozen yogurt. So, my biggest question is, what is the most scathing piece of criticism you've ever received in your career, and how did you overcome that insecurity?
Scathing piece of criticism?
Mm-hmm. Like something that made you think, you know what, maybe this isn't for me.
How did you overcome that?
Oh yeah. Well, there was a guy who was a bit of a goose, you know, way early in my career, and I think he thought that I was getting too many jobs or something. I don't know. He was a weird dude. He was from I want to say he was from Canada, Stu something. Anyway, he parks cars now. Isn't that right, Stu? Bring her car around. Bring her Mercedes around. Thank you. No, but it's and it wasn't even criticism. He was just like a wise guy. And later on, I heard that he just did this with everybody. So, because at the time you think, what the hell's going on for me? And that's just the way he was. And he goes, well, hotshot, you're not, and he always smoked, which is fun, you know, in a studio. Okay, you're in a really small room, stop smoking. And I probably told him that, and that didn't help. But no, he said, well, hotshot, you're not getting this one. It's not your game. It's not your time. It's not going to happen. I said, okay. And then I left, and he did too. And now he's, like I say, parking cars. But that was the only thing. And it wasn't even criticism. He was just being a wise guy. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thanks for bringing it up. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name's Lance, and I love key lime pie.
Me too.
Man,
that's my favorite. Everybody loves key lime pie.
I'm so No, and I want to thank you too. Thank you for over the years bringing so much joy to our lives. You know, we see you in person, but hearing your voice brought so much joy and laughter to all of us. So thank you. I have two parts to my question. My first is, when you do a voice audition, have you ever had a situation where you did a voice, like you talked about blending a couple personalities together, then you go away after you do the audition, and they call you back weeks later, and then you come back and you're like, oh crap, how did I do that voice? Did you ever not remember the voice you did in an audition?
Well, I don't know. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, even if I did, they would play it. Yeah, they record it.
And Mike, one other
small
question I have. You know, there's only one of you, and we're so thankful for that. But in a digital age, you know, would you allow your voice to continue over the years? I mean, just as now, you know, just as an example, James Earl Jones sold his voice to Disney as Darth Vader. You know, is that something that you would consider?
Oh yeah, I heard something about that. How did he do that? What was that again?
I don't know how that works.
They're going to use AI to reconstruct his voice moving forward.
Re-speech, it's called re-speech.
I mean, well, it's one of them. There's tons now, right? So they're becoming more sophisticated, different realms, and
yeah,
they're able to recreate people's voices just based on them.
Yeah. They heard something about that. I hate them. They better not do that.
You're so unique. You're so unique, and that's all. I mean, you carried on longer.
Yeah, well, I hope I stick around for a while. I'm feeling pretty good. So. Knock on wood. Yeah, I hope I can give them fits trying to replace me. That's you know, that's one thing that's good. I think, you know, and I would encourage you to do this if you have a character that you're doing, you know, and you always do one as written, and then do an ad lib, and then that kind of ups your ante. And I only know this, I didn't plan it this way, it just worked out that way. But, you know, because that way you're not just the sound of the voice. You know, in fact, there's a guy on the interwebs that, got to be 4 or 5 years ago. But he would do like me, and then he would do Rob Halsey, he would do all these people, and it sounded pretty good, you know, it was pretty good. But I mean, he couldn't act well if you pushed him in the pool. So, you know, so there's that. You know, it's one that, I mean, that's like a parlor trick to make a sound. And then you go, okay, now, what are you gonna do, blah, 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 blah. And they go, I don't have a script for that, you know, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. I don't know if I answered the question, but
Close enough.
Close enough, all right, thank you. Hey, there he is.
Hey, my name is voices.
Now, do you do any voices?
Well, I do, pal. How are you? It's me, Goofy. Hi, everybody. It's Goofy. No rise for Goofy. Gosh, I'll see you guys outside in the back.
We're trying to get him out of his shell.
What is your top 3 most favorite voices you've ever done?
Well, what was your dessert first? Wait a minute, your name and your favorite dessert?
Oh, my name is Luke Voices. My favorite favorite dessert is ice cream. Any flavor, any kind.
Wow. Well, that is good.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, okay. And what was your question? I'm sorry.
What are your top 3 most favorite voices that you've ever done?
Well, let's see. Probably Hondo, Darkwing, Pooh, Tigger, Taz, Ray. Have I got 3 yet? Okay. Yeah, only had 2, yeah. And who else? That mailman on that one show. Have you seen that one?
Well, that was good. Yes,
Yeah, I'm a hell of a mailman. Right on time.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am. See you later.
All right. Did you say ma'am? Okay, thanks, buddy. You keep up the good work. Bill Farmer better watch his butt.
Oh, I got these hands.
Yes, you do. He's got these hands. You gotta love this guy. Man, I'm glad you're not doing Pete. Tunes that are moving.
Yes. Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Hey.
My name is this on?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. My name is Michael Dell. My favorite dessert would have to be Dutch chocolate ice cream. Bluebell brand. Texas brand.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
so my question is, you've done several voices through the years for cartoon movies,
Darn
cartoon
near
shows. So my question is, what is your favorite non-animated movie?
Oh boy, there's a lot of those. I don't know. Godfather's way up there. They make up non-animated movies? I didn't know that. I mean, there's got to be 1 or 2 out there. Something about Star in it. Star Wars, was it? Star Wars was up there. Gosh, King of Comedy. Wizard of Oz. Right? Which was kind of almost animated. But, yeah, I got a mess up. I like, Robert De Niro is probably a weasel in real life and he makes good movies. I don't know. How about you?
Let's see. My favorite non-animated movie?
Yeah.
Probably Dances with Wolves.
That's a good one. Yeah, Kevin Costner does pretty well.
Yes. And my favorite animated movie, The Lion King.
Oh, good. Good answer. That's a good answer because I would do that.
Your favorite animated movie?
Boy.
That's tough.
Princess and the Frog is really way up there. Because being sort of from New Orleans and Lion King. Yeah. And anything with Pooh in it. Or Tigger. The Tigger movie, hell of a movie. Great movie. You gotta bounce on over and buy a few copies. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Time for one last question.
Time for one last question. Bring us home.
I'm Karen Graves, and my favorite dessert would be chocolate cheesecake. I have some waiting for me in the hotel.
Oh, my arteries are clogging in your honor.
My question is, obviously, I'm a little older than most of y'all here. So
Not all of us, honey. You little whippersnapper. No, what was on your mind?
I just hit 70, so at any rate, I remember the great Sterling Holloway and Paul Winchell, and I was wondering, I know you said that those were 2 of your favorite voices.
Sure.
Sterling Holloway was the original Pooh Bear, and Paul Winchell.
Cheshire Cat.
I'm sorry?
Cheshire Cat. He was the stork.
Was he really?
The stork and Dumbo. Telegram from Mrs. Jumbo.
And that's the thing.
And it was an elephant.
Pooh Bear was pretty much his voice.
Yeah,
So was
that's
it
right.
difficult for you to emulate it?
I don't think so. I mean, when I was a kid, I was really annoying and hard to believe. But, we'd be playing Monopoly and I would say, I believe I shall buy Park Place. gonna bounce on over there to, you know, give me a chance card, you know, and I kind of just did that. It's the stuff that used to get me kicked out of class. Sister Mary Agnes isn't laughing now. So, yeah, so it worked out for me. Yeah, thanks.
Well, Jim, thanks
Very
again
cool.
for coming to the stage.
Thanks, everybody. Guess I'll go back to my favorite thing. I'll be healing the sick, anointing the unwell.